doen voor het werk van iedere individual?
Prime brokerage operations in London, prime brokerage is a good time to get in right now. I mean, there's a lot of hedge funds are opening. It's never been as growing as now. The typical size of a prime brokerage organization is going to be 150 to 200 people in London. That's what I call the front office side of it, not the support functions around that. So there's a lot of things happening right now. A lot of them are recruiting, CS, numerals. So it's a good time to look at that. How many of you have applied to graduate training program? How many have found it frustrating? Anyone wants to share something with us on that?
I mean, obviously the frustrating part is that with this human resource type of recruitment, like doing all the tests, numerical tests, social tests, and whatever, where you have no, your application has no personality. Like you're number 1,000 or it's Goldman number 500,000 or whatever. So the frustrating part is that maybe, even because if you send your application, you feel like you're the best of the position, obviously. But when you send your application and the company hires obviously someone who passes all the tests, does the numerical test, and if you don't pass the test, even though you could be a good salesman, a good trader, or whatever, or even though even the best of the lot, well, you don't get through. That could be a frustrating time.
How many of you have, in this process, spoken to some manager, or have been through anything more than the HR process? So we just spoke to some. So what do you think?
Way better. I mean, if you get the contact inside, if the manager wants you and the team, you're going to call HR and say, well, I want this guy. And the direct way, more direct way to get him.
No, I mean, I think it's, as soon as you've got the opportunity to speak to a non-HR, I mean, HR are support staff. When I say support staff, they're here to organize the work. There's something important to understand also that, not in the bank, but more generally into a company. They're here to organize the work in the sense, making sure that everybody goes on vacation or not, something like that. They don't have any real power in decision making. So as soon as you can bypass HR, talk to the managers. One of my friends who went to the graduate training program, his way through that was to go and take a job during the summer in a bar in the city of London, because everybody, this is about habit in the UK, people go to the pub, and he found his way through by meeting so many people working in the pub, by serving them some beers, and so it's trying to be creative. So much of hard.
What are you doing like
also, she tried to, she got into rest. She applied for a job at, I don't know, Goldman Sachs, tried to know also, what's the latest price of the stock. So I've seen some questions like that. What's the price of Goldman Sachs? What's the price of the S&P? This kind of information. Show your appetite for the environment. which I think is very important is, you can even do that now, every morning or every day, you go on the web, on Bloomberg, whatever, read the news, read the financial news, read it's completely free. You go to the most read section, you can try to figure out what people read about, know about, read about sports as well, read about general culture is very important in this environment, because not only in terms of the bank's not going to ask you the latest score of PSG or whatever, but it's true that creating one of the things that happened was funny. At some point they stopped the access to a sports internet portal. And all the guys started screaming because in the relationship with the clients, it was really important to be able to know, how is doing the football team of the client. So, remember, a bank is a commercial bank. It's not about trading prop money of a bank. It's about facilitating trades for the client of the bank. So it's a client-driven business. So you've got to be client-friendly. Well, how can I help you or challenge you? Well, technical questions are how many of you also have been looking at understand what derivatives trading is about? Can someone give me a definition of derivatives trading?
And that could be an interview question.
Yeah.
Could it not? Yeah. Let's go, guys. Make me
Derivatives
proud.
versus non-derivatives.
Estimating volatility correctly. It's not pricing volatility.
Pricing the volatility, yes and no. Volatility is important to do a derivative trade. Derivative trade is about the difference. There's one thing you want to appreciate is when a trade slides from the, I would say, pure brokerage listed environments like buying something on the book on the exchange to something where you'll have a package trade which is going to be comprised maybe of two options and a strike depending on, or a barrier depending on whatever external event, where you're going to create a trade specifically for a client from something which is you can buy off the shelf. Because when you create those complicated trades, this is where you engage more and more responsibility sometimes with the bank, either directly because you're going to be what we call the principal trade, so the bank's going to be in front of it, or some legal effects of it, because basically you're entering into some swaps or into a trade where basically you engage legally your bank. So understanding also that some of the trades that you do in the bank are sometimes very easy and sometimes very complex, where actually able to price them correctly is important. Who wants to go and work in Europe or in the US, or where do you see ending up in the next 3-4 years? Asia? Who wants to go? Who thinks it's going to end up in Asia? US? Europe? Okay, so everybody wants to go there everywhere.
I have a question about the hedge fund industry. You said you work for a hedge fund.
Yeah.
Your hedge fund, as far as I understood.
Yeah.
Please tell us a bit more about your fund and afterwards about careers for graduates in hedge fund if it's sleeping.
Graduates in hedge fund is a good question.